Optical illusions scientists still debate. Have you ever looked at an image and questioned your own eyes? Optical illusions do more than trick our vision, they expose the complex, sometimes faulty ways our brains process reality. Despite advancements in neuroscience and psychology, some illusions continue to puzzle even the brightest minds. They're not just curiosities, they're windows into the mind itself. In this video, we're diving deep into the most debated optical illusions, ones that scientists still haven't fully cracked. Number 15. The spinning dancer silhouette, left or right. The spinning dancer illusion seems deceptively simple, just a silhouette of a dancer spinning. But here's the catch. Some people see her spinning clockwise, others see her spinning counterclockwise. And if you stare long enough, she may suddenly switch directions. Scientists still debate the underlying cause. One theory suggests it's due to how our brains interpret 3D motion from a 2D image. Another theory focuses on hemispheric dominance. In the brain, right-brained people may see clockwise, and left-brained people counterclockwise. But so far, no study has delivered a conclusive answer. Number 14. The checkered shadow illusion. A and B are the same. At first glance, the checkered shadow illusion seems to show two squares A and B, one in shadow and one in light, with clearly different shades, but they're actually the same color. Created by Edward Adelson, this illusion reveals just how much our perception of color and light is context-based. The brain adjusts what we see based on surrounding shadows and presumed lighting conditions. This illusion has been recreated in real-world experiments, and even with physical objects, people still fail to perceive the squares as identical. It's a stark reminder. What we see is not always what's really there. Number 13. Color gradient, the same shade illusion. A continuous color gradient can appear to change colors across a strip or background, but place a rectangle of identical color over the gradient, and your brain will swear they're different shades. This illusion plays with our perception of contrast and surrounding color. The brain compares areas based on nearby hues, not absolute color values. This is why a gray on a blue background can look warmer than the same gray on a red background. The phenomenon is linked to our evolutionary need to detect subtle changes in environment shading, light, and depth cues that might signal danger or safety. Number 12. The hollow face illusion, concave or convex. The hollow mask illusion flips everything we think we know about facial recognition. A concave face masked a hollow mold appears convex, as though it were sticking out instead of receding. Why? Our brains are hardwired to recognize faces in a very specific way. The illusion persists even if we know the truth, and even when we walk around the mask. It follows us, turning as we turn. Neurologists often use this illusion in schizophrenia studies because patients with the condition are less susceptible to the trick, suggesting fundamental differences in how their brains process visual information. Number 11. Rotating snakes, still images in motion. The rotating snakes illusion looks like it's moving, even though it's a static image. Concentric circles made up of repeating colored patterns seem to swirl endlessly. Akiyoshi Kadeaka, the creator, believes the illusion is caused by tiny involuntary eye movements called microsaccades. These tiny jitters trick the brain into interpreting motion where there is none. Despite many studies, the complete mechanism is not fully understood. The illusion serves as a fascinating entry point into how motion perception and eye-brain coordination are still ripe areas for scientific exploration. Number 10. The cafe wall illusion. Are the lines really bent? Named after a tiled wall in a Bristol cafe, this illusion makes straight, parallel lines appear sloped or bent. Alternating rows of black and white tiles with staggered alignment distort our sense of vertical and horizontal. Scientists attribute this to contrast interactions and the way our eyes processed edge detection. Still, the illusion sparks debate, especially when variations in spacing or color significantly alter its intensity. Number 9. The impossible trident, the blivet. The blivet, or impossible trident, looks like a three-pronged object until you try to count the prongs. Then the shape collapses into an impossible geometry that makes no physical sense. It highlights how our visual system can be tricked into interpreting depth and angles in contradictory ways. Artists like M.C. Escher have long exploited this kind of illusion, but scientists still study how the brain resolves or fails to resolve such logical inconsistencies in visual input. Number 8. The Penrose stairs, an endless loop. A staircase that goes up and up and up, and yet ends where it began. The Penrose stairs, popularized by Escher, create a never-ending ascent or descent. This illusion breaks the rules of Euclidean space and still manages to trick the brain into seeing continuity. While it's a purely 2D illusion, it creates a powerful 3D effect. Mathematicians and visual scientists debate how and why our brains accept such an impossible structure as plausible, even temporarily. It's a collision of geometry and psychology that continues to puzzle researchers. Number 7. Spinning rings, confusing the visual field. In some illusions, concentric rings appear to spin in opposite directions or warp as your eyes move. The overlapping motion confuses the brain's motion detection systems. Even though nothing's really moving, your visual cortex interprets the contrast and pattern shifts as rotational motion. This can sometimes lead to feelings of dizziness or nausea. Scientists are still figuring out how such illusions might inform our understanding of motion sickness, vertigo, and even migraines. Number 6. Ebbinghaus illusion. Size matters. Two identical circles are placed side by side, one surrounded by large circles, the other by small circles. Your brain tells you they are different sizes. That's the Ebbinghaus illusion. It's a powerful tool in visual psychology, used to understand how we judge relative size. But there's still debate over why it works. Some argue it's based on contextual size cues, while others believe spatial attention plays a more significant role. Interestingly, this illusion also affects how we perceive our own body. Our hands can seem larger or smaller depending on surrounding objects. Number 5. Troxler fading, the vanishing world. Stare at a fixed point long enough, and surrounding details begin to fade. Known as Troxler fading, this illusion shows how the brain filters out static information from the visual field. It's a survival mechanism. Our brains are wired to detect change, not constancy. But the process is still poorly understood. Some researchers believe it relates to neural adaptation, while others suggest it involves micro-eye movements. Number 4. The Lilac chaser. Where'd the dots go? A series of pink dots arranged in a circle seem to rotate until they disappear one by one, and a green dot appears in their place. This illusion combines afterimage effects, motion perception, and Troxler fading. What makes it special is the appearance of an object, the green dot, that isn't actually part of the animation. It's an example of emergent perception, how the brain fills in gaps based on experience and expectation. Number 3. The motion aftereffect, waterfall illusion. Stare at a moving waterfall, then shift your gaze to the rocks beside it. The rocks seem to move upward. This is the motion aftereffect. First noted by Aristotle, it puzzled scientists for centuries. We now believe it's caused by the fatigue of motion-sensitive neurons in the brain. When they stop firing, neurons tuned to the opposite direction temporarily take over. Still, the extent and duration of this effect can vary widely, and researchers continue to explore how individual differences, age, and neuroplasticity affect the illusion. Number 2. Necker cube, the flipping perspective. A simple wireframe cube can flip orientations while you stare at it. One moment, the front face is on the lower right, the next moment it's the upper left. Known as the Necker cube, this illusion plays with ambiguous depth perception. It illustrates how the brain makes constant unconscious choices about spatial orientation. But here's the kicker, no one really knows why some people can trigger the flip more easily than others. Studies have tried to link this ability to creativity, spatial intelligence, and even personality traits, but nothing definitive has emerged. Number 1. Shepard's tables. Same shape, different size. Two tabletops look entirely different in shape and size. One seems long and narrow, the other short and wide. But measure them, and they're exactly the same. This is Shepard's tabletop illusion. The key lies in how our brain interprets depth and perspective cues, especially angles and foreshortening. Even when we know the shapes are identical, the illusion persists. That's why it continues to be studied in cognitive science labs, especially in relation to how we perceive real-world objects like furniture, roads, and buildings. A glimpse into the brain's secrets. What makes these illusions so enduring is not just their mystery, but what they reveal about the brain itself. Each illusion exposes a blind spot in human perception, a gap between reality and interpretation. They're not just tricks, they're clues to how we evolved, how our senses work, and how our minds fill in the blanks. If you found your perception challenged by these mind-bending illusions, imagine what else your brain might be getting wrong every day. Share this video with someone who needs their reality shaken a little. And if you're fascinated by the science of seeing, hit that subscribe button, we're just getting started.